Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm Skratch. Today we're going to talk about the upcoming Halloween fusion that Plarium just announced, guys. And probably you've noticed at the events tab, we have the fusion warm-up event. And yes, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. In my opinion, this champion does have the potential to be a game changer for pretty much every person that gives a damn about PvP. Why? Because the current meta in the game in Raid Shadow Legends at the moment is buffing a lot, having a lot of champions that constantly buff. You have polymorph left and right, and probably for a lot of people that are in the lower tiers of Arena, they don't give a damn for Classic Arena anyway. But when we are talking about Tag Team Arena, and yes, you've noticed I'm deranking everywhere. I just ranked back to Gold 4 because I've been away, guys, you know what, and I haven't played for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna admit it, it felt amazing just to take a break from everything that's kind of like internet connected, you know. And right here, guys, in Tag Team Arena, you will encounter a lot of polymorphs regardless where you are in the tier. A lot of people commented on the video that I made about Ramantu. I'm so close to get him. I'm so close to get him. I just need to get that gold 1 in the Tag Team Arena, you know. And you will encounter quite a bit of polymorph in here, and I feel like this champion will be very helpful for a lot of you guys as well. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. On Thursday, October 26th, we're planning to launch a champion fragment event with a new champion, Timid the Fool. Now, as I mentioned, it's gonna be one of these two champions, right? The Halloween themed heroes, and Timid the Fool is a valuable asset when it comes to control abilities. Now, he's gonna be a Bannerlord, legendary of course, HP based champion, and he's gonna be Force Affinity. He's gonna shine bright on Arena, but will also come in handy in PvE locations whenever and wherever you need that control. So, being a Halloween themed champion, Timid will operate with fear and through fear, and paired with Kaja the Rye, he will unleash his full potential and gain some extra benefits along the way. I would assume that's the partner right here. Now, I have no idea how powerful the partner will be, but I'm very, very curious to find that out as well. So let's have a quick look at the Fusion Champion. That's how it's going to look. He looks pretty awesome, and I find it very odd for this champion to be a Bannerlord. Don't ask me why, but I just don't see this champion as being a Bannerlord. I feel like it's going to be better in the team with Night Revenants, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Maybe it's just me and my poor imagination. If we're gonna go right here, Timid the Fool skills. And yes, guys, Bannerlord, HP based champion, how I mentioned before, and he seems fairly interesting. With the A1, Carnival Hammer attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit heals this champion by 10% of their max HP. If the target has no active buffs, each hit also fills this champion's thermometer by 10%. So that's actually pretty nice. 20% heal of his own HP, 20% thermometer if they have no buffs. Sounds like a fairly decent A1. Test Your Strength, which is the A2. Attacks all enemies. Fully booked will be on a 4-turn cooldown. So far we need 4 skill tomes in the A1, 2 in the A2. And the good part on the A2 is that it just decreases the cooldown of the skill rather than increasing the chance to debuff or anything like that. Attacks all enemies. Decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns, guys. You heard that right. Decreases the duration of all buffs by 3 turns. You know what it means? It means that this champion will not get polymorph because this champion does not remove steal buffs from the enemy. So when you have a team with Sifi, with Marichka, all buffing, you can go in with this champion and remove all their buffs, okay, basically. Because you decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns, which is absolutely massive. Now, I definitely understand if a lot of people didn't got the idea of what exactly this champion can do with this skill, you know, and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna explain you why I think that this is a powerful thing. And if we're gonna head over back to the game and let's just go at a random champion. Let's just go right here at Blessings and check out Polymorph. Has a chance of placing a ship debuff on enemy champions for 2 turns whenever they place debuffs on this champion or remove or steal buffs from them. So keep that in mind. We are not removing, we are not placing debuffs, we are not stealing buffs from the enemies, which means that we are not going to get polymorph when we are removing the buffs from the entire team, which is going to be massive because in the current meta, how I mentioned at the beginning of the video, guys, all you're seeing is champions constantly buffing. Now, yes, lower tiers of Classic Arena is not an issue with Polymorph. Live Arena will be an issue with Polymorph. Tag Team Arena will be an issue with Polymorph, so keep that in mind because there you're not encountering bots like in Classic Arena. And that's one thing about Polymorph. Now, when we are talking about decreasing the duration of buffs, if we're gonna head over to Arena, I actually saved this dude right here. I've done so many fights on him. Probably he's gonna feel excited if he's gonna see it, that he has like 10 wins from me because I was testing stuff, you know? So right here, I'm gonna bring a champion that decreases the duration of buffs by 1 turn. That's gonna be, of course, Sandless Survivor. And they do have some buffs. Now, decreasing the duration of buffs won't work on a bolster set, for example, because that's a protected buff. So it won't work against champions that do protected buffs, you know? And same with the protection set from Hydra, you know? It's not gonna be efficient against it. And it feels like Plarium, they're trying to make us use the protection set a bit here and there. So Sandless Survivors attacks all enemies, decreases the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. So check this out. Yes, it will work on Stone Skin as well. And of course, with Stone Skin is a 50-50% chance, you know. And how you've seen right here on that UDK, we decreased the duration of the Stone Skin buff by 1 turn. We haven't decreased it on Stalters because it's still a 50-50% chance of decreasing the cooldown now of that buff or by removing it, you know. And you see we decreased the duration of shield as well, 2 turns on the Mitrala. So that's what that champion can do without getting polymorphed, okay? Very important to remember that. If there are no enemies with active buffs, grants an extra turn. Always grants an extra turn if Kaja the Rai is on the same team, even if there are enemies with active buffs. Now, this is not gonna be such a massive thing for a couple, right? Like, yes, we're gaining an extra turn if the partner is in the team, but can we really justify to bring the partner in the team unless she's doing something extremely powerful, you know what I mean? So that's a fairly decent move right there. Then we have the A3, Kegs of Dread. This will be on a 4-turn cooldown as well. So 4-turn cooldown, 4-turn cooldown. It requires 2 more skill tomes, bringing us to a total of 8 skill tomes, guys. Now, we haven't seen this on a Fusion champion ever, and we haven't seen a champion with 8 skill tomes in quite a while, you know, so keep that in mind. Attacks all enemies. Before attacking, places an increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. Places a true fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Now, yes, increased accuracy is great. We have plenty of different champions that do it in the game at the moment. Is that enough to justify to make the fusion? You know, it's a fragment fusion. I think I forgot to mention this at the beginning, you know, but then it places a true fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. And I'm not sure how to feel about this. True fear can get you polymorphed. You are risking it. If you're decreasing the duration of all buffs on the target is good. And then you can move to the extra turn and attempt to land that fear even if you're getting polymorphed, you know. You've done the job with the skill, so it doesn't really matter as much. Then you have the passive. Whenever an enemy skill successfully activates while they are under a fear or a true fear debuff, fills Timid's turn meter by 10%. Which is actually fairly decent to gain more turn meter, allowing him to rotate faster. It synergizes well with the A1. Whenever an enemy skill does not activate, because they are under a fear or a true fear debuff, places a provoke debuff on that enemy for 1 turn. This particular effect only applies when Kaja is on the same team. So there you go. It makes more sense to have the partner in the team now if you want to have a chance to provoke the enemy. Now, what I'm very curious to know, because this is a passive, when you are polymorphed, the passive doesn't work. So if we're getting polymorphed while we're landing the true fear, the passive becomes irrelevant. We're not getting turn meter, we're not getting the provoke to land either. And of course, you do need to have Kaja for the provoke, which kind of like makes it a bit like for the majority of the people, because it's pretty hard to get both of the partners in the same team. And you have an increases ally accuracy in all battles by 50 as an aura, which is fairly decent. Now I'm going to give you my honest take on this champion. I do think that the A2 is top notch for PvP content. Other than that, I find the champion pretty underwhelming, but is a game changer for whoever cares about PvP. and at least for the next couple of months, 2, 3, 4 months, till they're going to nerf the polymorph again. They did mention in the interview that Ash had with Cirilla that they are planning another nerf to polymorph, guys, which will be pretty massive in the future, because at the moment, the way polymorph interacts with the game is basically that every time a champion will attempt to land a debuff. So for example, let's go with this team in. We have Ramantu, right? And Ramantu with the A2 will actually attempt to land the debuff 4 times if I'm not mistaken, even 5 times in some cases. So let's actually just quickly check that out. Can we take you down? Almost. So check this out. Once Ramantu is going to take his turn, the first hit has a chance to land defense down, the second the weaken, the third decrease speed, the fourth block buffs, and he has a chance to land through fear. So basically he has like a gazillion chances to get polymorph when he's doing this. So what they're going to change is that it will only have a chance to activate once, you know. So that's going to be a massive nerf to polymorph. That's going to be the true nerf to polymorph. So I'm looking forward to it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, if you are planning to go for this fusion champion, my opinion is that wait till we test the damage. We have 2 AoE attacks on a 4-turn cooldown. He might be smacking, he might be bringing a lot of damage, which can be pretty nice. I don't necessarily think that he will do it, but you never know. They can surprise us. And yeah, man, I feel like that A2 is basically the main thing on the champion. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.